SBK. Why black people and Spanish people and people of color, why did they vote for him? It's a number of reasons why they voted for him. Number one, they thought that their pocketbooks was going to be filled up. They thought that the tax break that they got was going to give them more money. Number two, a lot of them, like Vaughn said, they can relate to him because he talked to them on a everyday regular basis. He played like he's not shooting bull crap to him, but he really is. Even though he's being plain Jane, he's still full of shit. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but he is.
Right, right,
All he do is spew out BS, and he never tells the truth. But
right.
it seems like in this day and time, what's up is down, and what's down is up, and what's left is right, and what's right is left. It seemed like we all want to live this fake social media life, like life is just not real. And so if somebody spew out some BS to us, it's just like, okay, let's look at it like gossip, for example. People want to hear gossip more than they want to. People want to hear about you doing bad rather than to say you're succeeding, because that's what people gravitate to. People gravitate to mess, and to me, that's what this guy represent, a bunch of mess, and that's what people like. He's a bully. He likes to talk about people. They think he's funny, and they think he's real. And once again, the whole base, the base and the people that voted for him, couple of weeks ago, a month ago, or what have I don't know how long ago it's been, but history is just repeating itself. We have less and less people voting, and we have more and more voter suppression than we've ever had before. Now, as far as getting people to vote, that is a very hard thing to do. And I'm gonna
It
tell you
is.
the number one way to get everybody to run to the polls. I
I'm
don't
dead.
think you guys gonna have to do too much work, because when this dude get through implementing everything that he's trying to implement, and whatever he's successful at, when everybody be broke down and out and in despair, people gonna be lined up around the corner to try and vote by the time it's time for him to get out of office. So I'm not that concerned about us voting for the president, because I think he's gonna do such a number on America where people are gonna be running to the voting polls. They're not gonna be able to wait to vote. And as far as our local elections, that's what affect your life. That's what guides your life. And like Ryder and Two Cent says, that's where you really need to vote, because that affect your everyday life when you vote for the
Mm-hmm.
people locally, because
You ain't
those are the
lying.
people that's making changes in your life on a daily basis. Yeah, Washington do implement some programs, but like Ryder said, locally is way more important than nationally. And I just feel like, and guys, don't push me off of the pounder for this, but I feel like America had to have we needed him in office.
Hey,
America
Well,
was
well,
poor.
but
No,
we only
no, hold
needed
on,
him. We only
bro,
hold
needed
on.
him one term.
Yeah, we only
We didn't
needed
have
him
to.
in one
We didn't have
time,
to keep
I'm
doing
but
this.
dead.
but America needed America. But he should have did this the first time. America
Mm-hmm.
needed somebody in office to do exactly what he's doing, so they can understand the importance of voting, so they can understand about putting somebody in office that's not qualified. It's like America was
Thanks.
sore, and this dude is just pulling the scab off of it. Your sword was almost healed up, and he came in there and he just ripped the scab off of it. And I think we had to get to this point in order for everybody to get serious, to get more people serious, get them more focused. And I guarantee you, 2 Cent, you're gonna have more people participating, because the more it hit their pockets, the more hospitals close up in these
Oh
rural
yeah,
areas,
yeah.
the more food stamps and housing and homeless people that you see. That's when people. Unfortunately, that's the only thing that opened America eyes up. When it hit home, and when everything is gone, it's just like the Cowboys and the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
But
Cowboys and the
but but
Mavericks.
but see the
They
thing,
they, they try to hold on. They try to win at
Girl.
the last minute of the game, and that's how America is. We only want to do something when it's at the last end, when we're at the bottom.
and see you brought up a good point. But what I wanna point out is I don't even want to talk about the people that are going to be affected by food stamps or by government assistance. I want to talk about the middle class that think that you got a little bit of change and you think that you better than the next person, because these are the people that's gonna get hit too.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
gonna
they
get
don't
hit too.
understand.
Why
You're
is that?
so
Why
the
is that,
people.
bro?
You know why it is. It's well. Let me finish the
Okay.
my train of thought from that. The people that are working middle class and you think that you're so much better than the people that are receiving government assistance, or those people that are impoverished. Um, you're about to experience that as well, because inflation is still even past. We can talk about inflation during the pandemic era, of course,
Right.
right? But we're
Right.
past that. We're talking about inflation now.
Now.
Inflation now is the highest we're at the highest rate that it has been
Right.
in 3 years. Your these If this bill passes, um you're it's not only going to be the people that are on Medicare and Medicaid, it's going to be your premiums, your insurance premiums that are skyrocketing. It's going to be the people that, if you have pre-existing conditions, it's going to be your medication that's going up. So it's not only going to hurt these people that these undocumented immigrants, which aren't getting Medicare, Medicaid in the first place. That's a whole scam. But it's not going to be those people. It's not going to be just those people that are affected. See, what happens is we think that we have reached a certain level or a certain status, and we start to shit on other people and be like, oh, well, I'm trying to keep my money in my pocket and fuck the next person. But it's about to start hitting your pockets too.
Well, with that being said, I want to, when people have that mentality, bro, ladies on the chat, in the
And with inflation and with everything going up, it's a lot of us that are not going to be able to afford things. And it, like you said, it's kind of a forgetting where we come from, forgetting where we forgetting our history, right?
Yep.
There's some, I had a conversation earlier, and something great was brought up, right? The minimum wage in Texas, and everybody that's on here from Texas, we know, but a lot of other people do not know. The minimum wage in Texas is still $7.25 an hour. That is still minimum wage. That has been minimum wage for the last 20-25 years, maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
And it is so when you look at things like that, and when I back in college, when I was working, that's what I was getting paid, $7.25. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember those days, and I remember. So it's not all, we go out on a limb and say, oh, well, people that are getting this assistance, they're lazy, and people that are getting assistance, they need to work harder. You got people out here working 40-60 hours a week, making $7.25. Think about it.
2 cents is the federal wage also.
Yeah. And it has not gone up. But guess what has gone up? Cars,
everything,
housing, food, gas, everything has gone up. And so, when some of us forget that we had those $7.25 jobs, right? And some of us forget that people are still working those $7.25 jobs. And these are the people that's hurting, right? Everybody's hurting, really. You know what I'm saying? But I think we get so high and mighty, and we stop looking at things like that. Like, I remember how hard it was when I was in college making $7.25 and still trying to buy groceries and still trying to pay rent and still trying, you know what I'm saying? So it's not people are not working or people are lazy. You got people that are working these jobs, and these are sometimes depending on how you look at it, essential jobs, because you got to eat. These are the people that are working at your local fast food restaurants that you take your fat ass kids. These are people,
These
these are
I'm
the people,
sorry.
like these people are going to work every single day, and
And working 2 and 3 jobs.
yeah, and what are you telling them? Do better? No,
Facts.
no,
Yeah.
no.
The
And that,
problem.
just like Jen
Go
J
ahead.
said, it's not. I'm not voting for me, right? I'm blessed. I thank God, and I'm blessed to be in a predicament to where I have a job that has job security and that pays decently. But I don't forget that I was making 725, in college, struggling.
People forget who they are and where they come from, and I'm
Yeah,
not sure if it's
and you
social
and you got
media.
and your cousin's still living like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got mine.
Right.
You get yours.
And see, a lot of people, they make $40 an hour. They look down on somebody who's
Yeah,
making that 725,
yeah,
but they don't realize that the people at the 1% are laughing at everybody
yes,
while they collect more money, get more money in their pockets, just laughing at us fighting among each other instead of voting in our best interest. A lot of us, we
We
want to
lying.
be wealthy, we want to be rich, and we think we're going to be there one day. And so we vote against our own interests because when we get there, we're going to have all of this too. But
yeah.
we don't look at reality. We're not there.
And let me draw that correlation with immigration, because I keep seeing a lot of people that have benefited, and that have benefited from the policies, and I'm talking about immigrants at this point, that have benefited from the policies that were in place to get legal citizenship. A lot of them are voting against these policies that are in place now for people to get legal citizenship, and that baffles me. I just don't. This country was built on immigrants. We are a country of immigrants. That's the reason that it is the land of the free. People are coming to this country to seek a better life and seek asylum from, where they come from. And I just think, I think when you look down on that, now don't get me wrong, obviously there should be a process, and obviously, there should be steps that you have to take, but for people to, especially people that have come from that, their families have come from that, for you to look down on, people now, I think that's ridiculous.
But guys, it's like I said, it's the history. It's the same history when we had slavery,
Hmm.
and the Caucasian people told the lower class, the millionaires and billionaires told the lower class that they were better than black people because they were white. And they have been running this playbook for over 200 years, and it has worked. Because if you tell somebody that you're better than the lower class man, then they tend to believe that, and that's the reason why they vote the way that they vote.
Hmm.
Whether it's immigrants, whether it's um, in Congress, whether it's a job or whatever. If somebody think that they're better than you, then yeah, they're gonna vote. That's not. They're gonna vote with the people that's not in their best interest, and you
Hmm.
you tend to believe that you're better than them because you're doing better than them. And it's just like Ryder said, we're all fighting for crumbs. Even that $40 an hour that Alice just brought up,
Hmm.
that's crumbs compared
Hmm.
to Elon Musk and all the other billionaires that's in office with Trump. Because what they're doing is they're pitting everybody, they're pitting the lower class and the middle class against each other. Meanwhile, their pockets are getting filled up higher, higher, and higher.
And
They're
everything for us is going up.
and everything for
Facts.
us is going up, and they're filling up their pockets, and we shouldn't even um like, let me just use the state fair for an example. The state fair has been coming around for what, 100 years, right? 50 to 100 years it's been a state fair. Granted,
statement right here. Jen J said, "My husband is a doctor. He has colleagues that do Uber and DoorDash, and there are some leaving the profession altogether, and some are getting laid off. Stop thinking it can hit you."
Facts.
Facts. It could hit anybody.
Wow.
People don't understand that.
It's going to hit a lot of
It
people.
is hitting, not going to. You just
Yeah.
read what she said.
I was finna
Yeah,
say, she
yeah,
said that's
yeah.
happening now.
It's happening now. I'm telling you, they want two classes: billionaires and millionaires, and everybody else on the bottom.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's why I said that's why I feel it's more trying to hit us with that, because I've been to a few meetings, right? And I keep hearing about the smart cities. I come on social media, they keep talking about the smart cities. I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna hit Philadelphia, Commonwealth, and turn it into. I'm like, y'all can't. I'm like, everybody in Philadelphia is gonna be poor. The majority of people depend on Commonwealth in Philadelphia.
The country is poor.
Yeah.
Our debt deficit is skyrocketing.
Exactly. Like this is, I'm like, listen, we can't afford. Like a lot of people around here cannot afford to sit here and have their house turned into a smart house. Ride around on self-driven taxis and buses. I'm
Right.
like, listen, listen. I'm already hearing comments. That's why I'm like, this is a little deeper than what we think. And what they're giving us through social media, through the media, through the news outlets, all right? It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. It's like they're throwing stuff at us to get us to go at each other, right? Through
Yep.
debates, through
Sensory overload.
arguments. Yeah, like this
Sensory
is
overload.
wild. They hit us with everything. Look how they throw us with the celebrity, the celebrity chaos. Look at the situation with the DV, the what is it? The bull name now is still going viral. D4VD. The I mean, it's a few.
Project 2025 is all about.
I I I
I
feel
want to.
that.
Oh.
Go ahead, little sis. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this. I know a lot of y'all are done raising y'all kids, okay, but a lot of y'all got grandkids, okay.
I ain't
So
done
I just want y'all to keep in mind, okay, that even though y'all may be working, you and your husbands or boyfriends or whatever, okay, daycares are government funded programs. Not all of them, okay, not all of them, okay. But if they take all the government funded programs away, while y'all always hollering about food stamps and y'all want people kids to starve and all this kind of stuff or whatever, okay. Just keep that in mind, okay?
Can
And
I?
also, if you think you just so much better, okay, than people, that do have food stamps, okay, stop buying them and asking for them. Okay, that's all
Facts.
I got to say. And don't ask me to do your hair either, okay? Because the answer is
I'm
no.
dead.
Right. But at the
Can
end
I
of the
listen?
day,
Can I say something though? Why do we keep calling it a government shutdown when it's supposed to? If y'all really look it up, it's supposed to be a federal government shutdown.
right.
So it goes deeper. And people, I don't know. I've asked them, I'm like, it's not federal. I said, well, if you look at it, it says federal government shutdown. But they keep saying government shutdown. I'm like, this involves the federal too. So imagine everything shutting down. Like if people can't go to work, you see where I'm coming from? They don't get paid. But if the institutions don't have their employees, how is America gonna keep rolling?
They already losing their job, Ryder. I mean, they already can't go to work. They already. He just said
Hmm.
today, troops are not going to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
The FAA is having so many delays because
Mhm.
they don't have any air traffic controllers
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
they're federal workers. In a minute, you're not going to get your mail, so your check ain't coming in the mail. Too late.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 5 minutes, like the Cowboys in the last 2 minutes.
I was gonna say she just compared this to a football game. I was a little lost for a second. Like, wait a
No,
minute.
that's a little trolling. That's just a little
Oh
trolling,
shit.
Ryder. But
I was listen. I'm like, wait, where did
I used to
sports
live
come
in
from?
Dallas. But I used to live in Dallas, so I know how the Mavericks do, and I know how the Cowboys try to win at the end.
No,
So SBK, so it ain't nothing I heard. It's something that I experienced, sweetie. That's why I switched
no,
over.
no. I
Nah,
was
you're
thinking.
you're
Listen, no,
right
you
though.
said because
But
you
what
said
I'm
fourth
saying,
quarter. I don't know sports, so I was just trying to figure out was that baseball, basketball, football. I'm like, wait.
no, that the Dallas Mavericks is the basketball team, and the Dallas Cowboys is the football team.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
SBK know when Tony Romo was playing, he sometimes he wins,
Facts.
sometimes he wouldn't.
Facts.
But that ninja
Fourth
would wait till
quarter.
the last 2 minutes and just be great. Get
Facts.
great
Yeah, I
in
know.
the
I'm
last two
stupid and
minutes.
dumb when it comes to
Like,
sports.
dude,
I
you
don't
ran
know
out of
nothing.
time. And that's what America is gonna do. They're gonna run out of
We running
time,
out of time.
and they're
Hey,
gonna
I,
wait till
I
everything is in play, and then everybody going, oh. I didn't know it was gonna happen to me. I didn't know I was gonna lose my nice engineering job, or my nice government job, or my nice profession that I
right,
have, and that's
right.
when it's gonna hit everybody.
I just want to
Yeah.
But
say,
we were warned. We were warned.
Yes.
He told a story over and over again about the woman and the snake,
Cool.
and
Oh,
it went over a lot of people's heads.
yeah,
Exactly, Alice.
it's the face eating leopards. I just just make sure make sure y'all passport is up to date.
passport. They
Not
trying to
and I
tip us.
for real. Like I'm not. All jokes aside, make sure your passport up to date. Make sure that you're able to access cash if you need to. Just go ahead and
Yeah,
Let
we're
me
gonna
uh,
have
pull
to.
all my coins out this damn bank.
for real,
Y'all better
man.
learn how to
Make
braid. Listen, y'all better learn how to braid so y'all can start passing messages through the braids like back in the days.
Yeah,
On
but
some
I'm
real
just
shit.
saying though, you guys know in the Great Depression in the 1920s, people lost their money in the bank because the bank closed up,
exactly.
and people
And
couldn't even get their money out the bank. So
that's
you absolutely right. I'm finna get my money out the bank. You're
yeah.
right
Like
about that.
this
Oh,
all jokes
shit.
aside. All jokes aside, man. Start preparing. Just in case, because I mean, we haven't seen a depression in 100 years, but we're headed that way.
Shoot, you think we ought to take our money out of our
Your four
IRAs
ones,
too?
yeah.
Our
Hey,
401s and
hey,
all of that too?
I'm
Should I
not
pull all my
I'm
coins
not a
out everywhere?
financial advisor. I'm
Shout
just
out to
going
Lisa J. Stocks.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Lisa,
J.
where
Stocks.
you at, girl? We need you.
yeah. I'm just,
Shout
I'm
out
just
to you, sweetheart. Shout out to you, sweetheart.
because we're looking. I mean, it's trending. We're looking at crashes. We're looking at
Yeah.
Yeah.
The millionaires have been warning us for years. A lot of these millionaires have been telling us what to do. I mean, not what to do, what they're gonna do. My bad. I said that off my stuff. Right? Like I know there was this one millionaire that went viral on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube, and he was talking about how there was going to be a crash. Right? First, we was going to go through the digital currency shit. Then there was going to be a crash. That people needed to learn how to go back to how the bed. He called it the bedrock or some shit like that. Back in the days, basically trading, learning how to, farm and do all this shit. I was like,
Bartering.
I've
Yeah.
been said that shit. People don't understand it. It's like, oh, but Bitcoin's this. I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin is good for the moment. But when everything crashes, because they're talking about hitting the goddamn
at least in this conversation, right? But if we continue to spew stuff, we get people who are uneducated and
Well,
are
listen,
not trying to be educated and will just hear stuff and not go vote because they don't like whoever. you know. And so we have to have these conversations. We can come together and have these conversations so we can get more people to the voting. When I grew up, y'all, every primary, I was at the voting stations giving out flyers. That's how I grew up. My dad was in politics, but I grew up in a very small town, right? And if I hadn't moved out of town, I would have been in politics in our town, you know. But we have to go, that's grassroots, y'all, going to help and to get involved. That's what I'm trying to get us to see. We do need to have these conversations, even if we feel that it's on the same side, because
Basically,
there may be somebody on this panel that probably didn't vote, or in the chat that probably didn't vote. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people I know that just don't go vote. If I hadn't gone and gotten my 28-year-old son by the ear, he wouldn't have gone and voted, because a lot of these kids don't go vote that are in their 20s, you know? And that's why I'm starting with my son now. Get ready, baby. We're voting in the primaries, because by that time, well, no, not November, right? But by the next whatever, you know, you're gonna vote. You're gonna be 18 next year. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I gotta say. Sorry.
And also, I want to throw this in on that too. If you live in the South and your state said that you got to have this real ID, make sure you get your real ID, because they're going to use that against you at the voting booth. You're not going to be able to show your other ID that's not raised up, because they raised it up and really is registered with the federal government. That's the reason why they wanted you to get this real ID, so they can keep up with everybody and see who voted now. And so, but you're not going to be able to vote unless you have that real ID. So make sure you have your real ID so you actually can vote, because you got people that's just pulling people off of the voting rolls just because they say that they don't feel like they're voters.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say 2 cent. Somebody echoing 2 cent. Yeah, what Joe said. Y'all's conversation is needed, because you know I'm honest and I don't know nothing and half of what y'all talking about. And when you kick it with Angela Davis Sr. and Jr. over here, okay, you know, you kind of have to know a little something about what's going on. So don't think, you know, just because I'm up here trolling, I'm not really listening, because I am, okay. And I'll be honest, okay. Some of y'all kind of scaring me with all this, you know. They got to hit the grid, so you know I got some looking up to do and some questions to ask, because it's like, what are y'all talking about? But don't think just because, you know, we're all Democrats or we're all in agreement, or because I really don't know all of what, you know, because SBK say, I don't know what he said, but I pretty much heard he wasn't either or, right? But it's like, just because we all up here and we see all the crazy stuff, okay, it doesn't mean that I'm not really listening to y'all, okay, or other people ain't really listening. You know what I'm saying? Don't think like that.
Well, who is Angela Davis Sr. and Jr.?
Miss Alice and you, ma'am. You know, she's senior, you junior, so.
Oh, good. That's some real facts what y'all been saying, but whoa, I'm really echoing.
Yeah, I think Foxy was trying to say something.
I was going to say, you know, Joe, I agree with you about voting. We really need to vote. When I was 18, I was allowed to vote. When I went to vote, at that time we didn't have the poll machines. You had to sign up to vote, pick out who you want to. And at that time, because of the Jim Crow era, they used to take my sheet, and if I didn't select the people they wanted me to, they would rip it up or ball it up and throw it in the trash in front of me. So my vote never went out. So that's why it's so important for me to vote now, because I'm allowed to do it because of the machines and stuff. But at that time, they didn't give us that opportunity. They would ball it up or tear it up, and even if you had 1 or 2 people in there that you didn't like, and you know they was crooked or whatever, they still would ball it up or tear it up and look at you like, what? And you had to walk back out. Your vote didn't matter at that time. So that's why I try to talk to so many people about, please vote, because you have the opportunity now that I didn't get for some years.
Yeah. And that's what we're missing, Miss Roxy. We're missing those stories. Like, we're missing the people telling, you know, about that, and that goes, you know, I I got a shirt on today. You know, repping my HBCU. A lot of, you know, you get a lot of history, and you what, and I'm not even gonna um attribute it to that. I'm just gonna say that knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? And when you know where you come from and you know the history of these type of things, and when you do your research, you understand what this looks like today. And then those are, Miss Roxy, those are the conversations that need to be had. Those are the stories that we need to hear. A lot of young people need to hear, because somebody just said it, you know, the I think it was Joe, the those 20-year-olds, you know, that Gen Z era, they struggle with it because they don't know that history, and a lot of that is planted. You know, a lot of that is taking that Black history or that education out of the school system. A lot of that is taking away your Smithsonian museums and saying that, oh, we don't, that's America's dark area, and we don't want to teach that, or people don't want to hear that. They're doing it on purpose.
Yes,
really
they are,
are.
and they're also at that time, during that same time frame, they were burning crosses in the fields and stuff around there to keep us from voting. So there's a lot of history about voting that we wasn't allowed to do during my era when I turned 18. And I'm, you know, and people sit back and say, wow. I say, yeah, we weren't allowed to vote. If you was voting, you didn't know if you're going to have a cross in your yard, a cross in your field. You didn't know if you were going to make it home from voting. You didn't know if you were going to make it to the voting polls. They would have guns and knives and dogs and stuff out there waiting for you to intimidate you, to keep you from voting. And here you are, and now you have the opportunity to vote, and you don't want to. And that bothers me so bad, because when I wanted to vote and have my voice heard, I wasn't allowed to. And now you have the opportunity, and you don't want to do it. And it just bothers me that, you know, people are not doing this. And it's like, okay, look at what can help you. And like Joe said, start with your mayors and your congressmen and your senators and your representatives, and then you worry about the presidential. But you got to get you can't do nothing. The president can't do but so much. He can do something, but you got to have the right people in Congress. And Congress is the backbone of the government. And you don't have the right senators in there, and you don't have the right representative for the House, and you know the House do the bills, and ain't no real bills have crossed any president's desk in years.
Right.
You know, last year they said, what was it? Crockett said, I think they had seven bills that actually made it to the Senate. So the Senate is sitting up there making money, sitting on their ass doing nothing, because they ain't got a bill to vote on. And the president can't do nothing until he hit his desk. So he got to go through the House to create the bill. You got to go through the Senate to approve the bill. And then it hits the president's desk for him to sign off on it. So a lot of it is still not all president. It's who you have in the House and the Senate. And if we keep voting for the same people to go right back in the House and the Senate, we're not going to get nowhere. And people that don't want to go out there and vote for the senators, the representatives, the mayors, your Congress people, you're not going to gain anything. And he's going to be able to achieve what Joe and them say. It's going to be the poor and the rich. That's it. And it's time for us to rise up and show them in this coming up election that just because you did the Mandarin and all this other stuff trying to keep us from voting, we're going to show you in numbers that we are tired of your stuff and we're going to vote. And I'm telling anybody, if anybody I see or hear, I tell them to please vote, because when I was your age, I wasn't allowed to vote. But I wanted to vote.
Let me just say this too, Foxy, to piggyback off of what you said about not being able to vote as a young lady that just got out of high school. Guys, that's what this National Guard mess is about. Okay? That's why he putting the National Guard in all of these cities, because the plan is to have the U.S. Army or whatever branch of service, well, really the National Guard, but He said he was going to bring more to Chicago because Pritzker won't let them in the city. So he's going to try to outnumber the police department, the police force, or whatever. And I don't know what that's fight about. But all of this is test. So when it's time to vote next year and in 2028, it's going to be an intimidation tactic. If you got National Guards all around the voting polls and you got these people with guns and gear on, then that's going to keep some people from going to the voting polls, mainly seniors.
Yep.
Because they're intimidated very easily. Young people, they're not going. The only people that's going is Generation X.
Migrants, because
and migrants, keep them away.
Yeah, they because
claim our voice, all right, and whatever legacy that we're trying to build, whether it's yours, mine, anybody's in the chat, all right. So shout out to SBK, all right, for having these type of panels, all right. We need them more, and I'm just glad that I'm on a panel where we're talking about politics and nobody's, breaking their laptop. So. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
I paid too much for my laptop to break it.
and it's expensive.
No, what I mean is we had a great conversation, and this John ain't go left. Like, I love it. Usually people, on YouTube, politic panels go left. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm staying down there in the chat. But so SBK, yo, keep doing what you're doing, because I love the fact that you was able to pull this John off. I don't know how many times you've done it, but this is my first time hitting your political panel.
Yeah, we lead with respect over here, man. We've had folks that on the left and right, and we've always had people had some wild we've had some wild conversations on here. You know what I mean? Before.
Okay.
But it's always been respectful, you know what I'm saying? And so
the John was dope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had political conversations on here before, and we lead with respect. We're always going to lead with respect, because everybody's voices matter on here. So, JoJo, what you got on? What's your last words there, best? What you got?
I just want to add to that. That's the main thing, you know, and that's what we because we were trying to advertise, trying to market, trying to let everybody know about this, right? And that was the main thing we kept because I help SBK in the background, by the way, but that's why we just kept trying to, you know, push that, you know, your voice. He always says your voice belongs in this conversation because we have to have more conversations we can have, conversations we don't have to bicker and fight, because that's what they want us to do. They really do. You know, that's why they keep us with these emotional things on social media, like so many said, right? And we just, I love that we can come together and have these conversations, because even if we seem like we're on the same side, we don't all know everything all the time, you know? And some of us are just so busy that we just get emotionally pulled at what we see cross us right away. But we have to have the conversations and we need to share it out, you know? And it starts at home, like Jen Jay was putting in the chat right now. It starts at home. It starts with our own kids. It starts with our own grandchildren. It's with our own brothers and sisters. If you don't have kids, whatever, you know, we are all, you know, we're all leading someone. Someone is looking up to us somewhere, you know? And so I just love it. I thank you all for coming and sharing, even in the chat. You know, I just have to, oh, and if you haven't already, go to SBK shop. Okay, love you guys.
Show it again. Show it again.
Here it goes.
Now show the back. Show the back. You forgot the back.
No, not this one. It doesn't have the back on this one.
Ah, the last time
We
she
have
showed the
different-
back, that John was dope.
Yeah. We have different kinds, so, but anyway, yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all of y'all.
All right, Queen Fancy, it's your time. What you got on it?
Well, I just want to say, number one, I purposely was on my best behavior. That's the reason why we were all able to get along.
Me too. I said what I said.
I just want to throw that out there because I'm normally not this nice about politics. Trust me when I tell you that. But I decided when, because I do have another political show that we're gonna get, we're gonna get started pretty soon when I finish doing what I'm doing, and when Foxy get back home, or when me and Foxy get through doing what we doing, she and I and
because I'm not a good enough trumpet. I heard a lot of, slick shade, intelligent, know what they talking about, you know, feelings. And I'm like, dang, I thought I was representing for my bro. But, since y'all feel some type of way, I'm just not gonna come back. But I will say this, I just feel like if y'all would just pray, for my bro and not talk so bad about him, he could do a much better job running this country, and the world will be a better place. But y'all don't like to take my advice. Y'all don't like to do that.
She just
So,
called herself a trumpet, though.
Prayers don't.
yeah,
Prayers don't help. Prayers
they,
don't help the devil. I'm sorry. It just
I was
yeah. The
I
prayers
said what I
can't help
said.
the
You
devil.
you took the words right out of my mouth because I
Right.
was thinking the same thing.
That's just
if
wasted
y'all would
voice and a
just,
wasted prayer. So I'm
So
not
wait,
gonna
if
even bug.
y'all,
I'm
I
not gonna
said
even
what I
bug
said.
God. I'm not gonna even bug God with that. No,
no,
I
no,
said
ma'am.
no,
what I
no.
said. You a Democrat?
Yes, ma'am. Wholeheartedly.
Oh,
100%.
okay. So I'm getting the conversation now. I was a little lost earlier, but I couldn't tell who was who. So now I get it. I get it.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay,
no. I'm
okay.
a Democrat. Dang, I was that good. You thought I was an independent?
I I wasn't beefing or throwing shots or none of that. I was like, wait, who the hell is the Democrat and who is the freaking
Now,
Republican?
Ryder, I promised myself that I was gonna do this more diplomatically, but I've always
Y'all are so
sidelined
cool
some of the
about it. So
Democrats. Yeah, I'm about right. Bonna tell you, it doesn't matter if I like you or don't like you or whatever. I'm always just trying to tell you what's real, regardless.
okay,
Fact.
Yeah.
okay.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna say this too, but before I let two things go, okay? Next time, okay, I'm gonna do a better job, all right, at being a trumpet. Since I couldn't get y'all to act crazy, everybody want to be on their best behavior. I'm gonna do my 2025 research, okay, project 20, and I'm gonna know what to say to make everybody get all upset because I didn't do a good job tonight, okay?
Oh,
All
man.
right. All right. Shout out to, my people in the chat that, did I represent y'all Trump supporters well? Did I? Let me know in the comments.
Hey, yo, Home Alone.
Go ahead, bro.
I got a couple of things. Number one, I want to say I appreciate you. I said what I said. I try to pride myself, and this is not only politics. This is when it comes to anything that I speak on. I try to pride myself in having facts versus feelings, and I think that's where the conversation goes. And bro, you was talking about certain people feel like they might be getting ganged up or whatever. I think it's because it's a facts versus feelings type of thing. I think that we need to do a better job at doing our research and our homework and not going off of what we see on social media or what we feel about somebody. I try to approach the conversation with facts. And I try to do my research. There are plenty of outlets out there, networks out there. And social media is not always a bad thing, right? Like there are social media platforms that are very educational. I follow a lot of things from the Midas Touch podcast. They have an Instagram. They are bipartisan. They call out a lot of things on both sides. And there's a lot of they're only one of many. There's a lot of different avenues that you can use to educate yourself that is bipartisan, or it is it's very unbiased. So
I
I
follow
think
them too. I follow
yeah.
them too.
Yeah, so I think the reason that a lot of people on the other side don't like to come to the table is because we're talking facts versus feelings. Like, it's not about being ganged up on. That's just like, when me, you, and bro Jimbo was having the conversations of Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I don't mind debating multiple people on a specific subject because I'm gonna give you facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing to the table facts, not just my feelings on certain thing. And I think a lot of times when we have these conversations, come to the table with your facts because I can't argue the facts. You know what I'm saying? I can disagree with you on your opinion, but when you bring stats, facts, things that have been proven, we can't argue that That's not an argument, because you're literally talking about documented information. So that's one thing I'll say. Please, please make sure that you're educating yourself when you come to the table. Number two, like I said in the chat, a voteless people is a hopeless people. If you're in Texas, we got an election coming up November 4th. Like I said, go to votetexas.gov. It tells you exactly when the date is, what you need to do as far as we've already passed the last day to register. But as far as your mail-in ballot deadline, that's coming
political. I did create the channel because I am passionate about politics, and I hope that I wasn't yelling on the panel. 'Cause I'm very passionate when it comes to politics. I've been registered to vote, and I've voted in every election since I was 18 years old, and I will be 62 on the 17th. So, yes, I do vote. I practice what I preach. So, thanks again, SBK.
Always, anytime. Look here, every content creator on this panel, whether it's all things political, Foxy Roxy, 2 Cent, you calls it podcast, Bonds, reality. I said what I said. Waiting to exhale, Thrive and Glow with Joe Riders for Life. You guys go and subscribe to every single person that is on this panel. Please, let's go support each other. Let's have more panels like this. You know what I mean? You guys hit me up. Hit me up on my email or on my IG or whatever. Comment in the comment section after we get done ending this thing. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about when it comes to politics. You know what I mean? The SBK channel is not just about what's going on in this world and as far as like in the realm of dating and all that. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to talk about other things.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to talk about other things. I've always talked about other things. So y'all just hit me up. You know what I mean?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
SBK.
Go ahead.
If I AI myself into a MAGA hat, am I gonna be allowed on the panel?
Yes, you are. Well, I'm gonna roast the hell out of you. I'm gonna roast the hell out of you.
Vaughn, you do that, and I'm a AI, and I'm with stupid hat.
Yeah, man.
Look, wait, Miss Alice, am I gonna be allowed on your panel when you drop the link?
Absolutely not. I'm not like SBK.
Right.
Look,
and I'm not going on the stage with you no more.
I need look. So since you gonna stop kicking it with me because of my AI MAGA hat,
yes,
this is crazy.
Wow. No more waiting to exhale shows. No more.
They not having it, Bonds, but I'm gonna allow you on here. And the entire show that I have you on the panel, I'm going to roast the hell out of you.
Just let me know so I can be prepared.
Absolutely.
Just be on the lookout, okay? Just be on the lookout for my avatar, okay?
Yeah,
I ain't gonna put it on my channel, but I'm gonna come over here with it.
I'm going to roast the hell out of you, and I'm just going to roast the hell out of you.
Jim J just blocked you, girl.
Thank you, Jen.
I ain't gonna block you, Bonds. You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work. That's all there is to it. You gonna get this work. Yeah, on this channel here, man, we talk about everything. You know what I mean? I know we tend on the Tap In podcast talk about, you know, relationships and stuff like that, but on my channel we talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's off limits. You know what I mean? So you have a voice on here. You know, so
Sorry, SBK.
Go ahead.
Bon, I am a woman of God, but I still have work to do. So please don't bring that.
I'm not gonna do you
to my house.
I'm not gonna play with you like that.
No one's perfect. None of us are perfect.
Bring it, Bonds, because I'm gonna roast you. I'm gonna roast you just as much as I roast you and those Chicago Bears.
Wait, Bond is the only Trump supporter in this, John?
I'm not really a Trump supporter, Ryder. You're not? Don't say that out loud. No, I'm trolling.
She trolling.
Y'all confusing me.
Ryder be standing on business, baby.
Look, she like, for real.
No, listen, I don't have nothing against Trump on some real shit. I knew him as a celebrity before I even knew that he had any business. First place I ever saw him, first movie I ever saw him was in Home Alone, coming down the goddamn escalator. Then I saw him on TV shows like, "You're fired."
Yeah, he's a reality TV host. That's why he's
so funny.
Then he was a businessman and shit like that. So it's like I would have never in a million years ever thought that Trump. I think it's Arnold's fault since he became governor. Like they've been having celebrities in politics for the longest. It's Arnold's fault. I know. Let me stop.
Arnold, what's his name? Schwartz over there in LA.
Yes.
Free
Yeah,
the Terminator. Free the
Yeah, I
Terminator.
forgot
The
Reagan was an
Terminator, yeah.
actor too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reagan
Reagan
You
was
know
an
what, Miss
actor,
Foxy? He was.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was,
He was.
the first one. He was the first actor.
Wait, Ronald
And
Reagan was an
see
actor?
how that went.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. Ronald
Yes,
Reagan
ma'am.
was an actor.
He was
Wait, hold on,
he was a country.
Joe, you
Joe, why you
smiling
gotta
so.
smile? Yeah, why you
Hey,
gotta smile like that every
sis,
time you put that shirt up there?
Having green in my favorite color.
The last
Joe
time was
smiling.
purple. Chill.
It's like the kindergartner, picture, in school. You like cheese, look at me.
For real, right?
She the Price is Right model.
Yo, hey,
When she showing the prizes on the Price is Right.
Damn, she
real,
put that
for
on
real.
back. Price is right.
For
Jeez.
real, man. For real. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna end this thing, man. Now I appreciate everybody on the panel. I appreciate all my moderators. I appreciate all my members. Everybody, man. I'm gonna end this thing. Your boy SBK is gone.